Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Dream Demon Ancestor, Shock Demon Ancestor, and Father God from the automaton race. Those from the United Force were all elevated. They were all looking forward to the end, and they all thought that it was impossible to kill Luo Feng. After all, as powerful it was as Luo Feng, as long as he didn't look for his own death, nobody was able to kill him as he had Star Tower and Boat of Mausoleum. However, Luo Feng seemed to be suicidal now. How could they let such a great chance go? More than 800 Universe Masters and more than 10 Universe Supreme Masters. Some of the Universe Masters even had multiple bodies, so there were around 900 godly bodies of Universe Masters. And with the Universe Supreme Masters numbering in the teens, all the blurry godly power made an attack at once. It amounted to the combination of 1,000 godly bodies of Universe Masters. What level of power was it? Universe Masters were ranked from level 1 to level 6. As for Universe Supreme Masters, they could only use the godly power of Universe Masters with life gene levels of 10,000 times even in Universe Ocean, as they were suppressed by the mind of the original universe. Therefore, ordinary Universe Supreme Masters could only wield power at level 7, and those lucky enough to get Supreme True Treasures could reach level 8, like Father God from the automaton race. Huge Axe Creator, before getting the Supreme True Treasure, had been at level 8. After acquiring the Supreme True Treasure, he had been able to wield more power with the engravings on the Supreme True Treasure, at which point he had reached level 9. At level 7 were the mediocre Universe Supreme Masters. Level 8 was the ordinary level. Level 9, both Huge Axe Creator and the first true master from the Divine Eye clan were at this level. Level 10 was Teacher Origin's level. Teacher Origin had roamed Universe Ocean in the past, and nobody had been his match, which was why he was at level 10. This was the definitive limit of a Universe Supreme Master. In the 3 universe eras, nobody except Teacher Origin had reached that level. Although no individuals couldn't reach this level, numbers could help. And at this moment, more than 800 Universe Masters and more than 10 Universe Supreme Masters were making attacks at once, which was as powerful as 1,000 godly bodies of Universe Masters. How terrific that was! An average Universe Master was at level 4. More than 10 Universe Masters could reach top-tier level 6. The combination of 100 Universe Masters could reach level 8, and the combination of 1,000 Universe Masters exceeded level 9, nearly reaching level 10. The combination of 1,000 godly bodies of Universe Masters should reach level 10. Luo Feng, you'll die trying to resist it all by yourself. You're dead. Even the most powerful Universe Supreme Masters in Universe Ocean can only wield power at level 9. Now, almost 80% of the top-tier power in the original universe has been combined. 80% of a universe era, and it reached level 10 already. Even if you have a Supreme True Treasure to guard your soul, your godly power is inferior to a Universe Supreme Master. You're dead. Die. Die, Luo Feng. Die. The United Forces Alliance looked forward to seeing Luo Feng die. All 17 True Treasure Palaces made attacks at the same time. Blurry godly power, attack. The leaders in the palaces gave orders one by one. The old beast god, Space Beast Ancestor from the Space Beast Alliance, sighed. He was at least an acquittance to Luo Feng. However, the current situation had to do with his fundamental interests. As for Sitting Mountain Guest, he couldn't change anything, as it was an action taken by the entire alliance. Space Beast Ancestor gave the order. Attack. The Universe Masters under him started to make attacks, including Golden Horn Master. It was silent. All the Universe Masters from the human team were watching closely. Many were even staring at Luo Feng. They wanted to see how Luo Feng would come to an end. The peerless genius from the human race. Would he become stronger in the future and reach the level of Teacher Origin or even transcend incarnations? Or would he die? The Universe Masters present, even the 3 ancestral gods with the mind of the original universe, couldn't guarantee that they could resist the soul attacks from more than 800 Universe Masters and 10 Universe Supreme Masters. Like Primal Chaos City Leader and Darkness Master, they were certain that they would die if they tried it. Primal Chaos City Leader stared at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, he said. He had been worried before. However, Luo Feng was confident. Besides, Luo Feng had handled the soul attack from more than 100 universe masters of other races. But that was only around 100 universe masters. It was way more powerful this time. Luo Feng was confident that he could resist it. Primal Chaos City Leader didn't want the humans to be forced back to the original universe, so he agreed to it. Luo Feng, Darkness Master, Penggong Master, Ice Mountain Master, Void Gold Master, and Longyang Master all gazed at Luo Feng. The fate of humanity depended on this. Would the humans be forced to leave the original universe? Would the human territory be occupied and all the life forms within it be slaughtered? Or could they still prosper in the original universe? This was the moment. Attack! Attack! Kill Luo Feng! Die, Luo Feng! All 17 true treasure palaces performed blurry godly power attacks. The ocean water was everywhere, covering all the palace true treasures, so the great beings only needed to attack the water. When the Universe Masters and Universe Supreme Masters attacked remote ocean, they were effectively attacking the soul. The attack was silent, but blurry godly power at this level was too strong, so even the space around the godly power was turned into particles. As for those from the human team staying in Star Tower, they all felt the space tremble. Luo Feng! Luo Feng! They all looked to Luo Feng. Primal Chaos City Leader's eyes turned red, and his godly body trembled. He was worried about the fate of humans and Luo Feng. Was Luo Feng still alive? Luo Feng, clad in silver wings and silver boots, had his forewings open. He stood still, as if frozen in place. Luo Feng? Luo Feng! The human universe masters all stared at Luo Feng, holding their collective breath. All of a sudden, Luo Feng, standing still as a sculpture, turned his head and smiled at Primal Chaos City Leader, Darkness Master, Longyang Master, and the other universe masters. He smirked. He showed his white teeth, and he had a bright smile. The brightness of his smile inspired the human universe masters. They all felt that the future looked more promising. Luo Feng! Luo Feng! Ha ha ha! The human universe masters rushed forward. They were all excited, and some of them even had tears in their eyes. They were all exhilarated. Even Primal Chaos City Leader had tears in his eyes. Universe masters of other races on the human team were also thrilled. They were not as elated as the humans, but they were still amazed by how strong Luo Feng was. It became cheerful in Star Tower. The human universe masters were all joyous. It was a moment that determined humanity's fate. If Luo Feng hadn't been able to resist it, he would have died, which would have meant that the humans would need to retreat back to the primal universe. Then, under the suppression of the powers in the original universe and universe ocean, the humans would never be able to prosper. In addition, the ordinary humans in the human territory would have been slaughtered. But if Luo Feng could resist it, it would be a disaster for the United Forces Alliance. It meant the United Forces couldn't even touch Luo Feng. That Luo Feng resisted it. The 3 ancestral gods and universe masters in Ancestral God Altar were also thrilled. They were all top beings, so they knew precisely what that meant. That had been an attack from almost 80% of the power in the original universe. Yet Luo Feng was able to resist it. The United Forces Alliance is in big trouble, Doubleface Ancestral God said with a grin. The humans will definitely win. Let's see how badly the United Forces Alliance will lose. We can make attacks now. Their attacks will be blocked by the endless waters. We can defeat them one by one. Ha ha. We'll definitely win. Ancestral God School chose to stay in the altar before, yet they changed their plan immediately. The United Forces Alliance was dead silent. All its Universe Masters and Universe Supreme Masters were dazed. They had been confident that the blurry godly power could kill any Universe Masters, even if they had a supreme true treasure to guard their soul. They carefully sensed the water around them as they desperately desired to feel its binding power receding. However, the water was still powerful, suppressing all the true treasure palaces. And the godly power was still burning and forceful, which meant Luo Feng was still alive. He's still alive. Shock demon ancestor, in a true treasure palace, found it hard to believe. How can Luo Feng still be alive? Even if he has a soul supreme true treasure, his godly power isn't able to resist an attack at this level. Teacher Origin even killed a universe supreme master before. How did Luo Feng survive? It's impossible, impossible. Bug Empress was also shocked to her very core. He was unlikely to survive. He should be dead now. Dead. She was great at soul attacks, so she knew how powerful that attack was. It was certainly at level 10. Beings in the original universe couldn't reach level 10, and even in Universe Ocean, only Teacher Origin could reach that level of power. Teacher Origin had been invincible, and he had been great at soul attacks. Even Universe Supreme Masters with their godly bodies needed a Soul Supreme True Treasure to survive Teacher Origin. Although they could only wield the power of Universe Masters with a life gene level of 10,000 times, they were immensely strong at defense. As for Universe Masters, even one who had a powerful mind and a Soul-type Supreme True Treasure would certainly not be able to survive Teacher Origin. An attack at level 10 could definitely kill all Universe Masters. How did he survive? How? Damn it. We're in big trouble now. The United Forces Alliance was in unprecedented danger. How did he survive? Luo Feng looked outside. He could feel the strong emotions from his godly power ocean, the emotions from Universe Masters and Universe Supreme Masters from the United Forces Alliance. Why can't I? Too late to regret it. Luo Feng's eyes glinted coldly. The combination of around 1,000 godly bodies of Universe Masters was indeed incredibly powerful. Actually, Luo Feng had accepted the worst situation, the Freedom Alliance joining the United Forces Alliance, when proposing that plan. He had prepared for a soul attack at this level. As for material attacks, he wasn't afraid of a long battle with his remote ocean godly body. The only thing he was worried about was a soul attack. Luo Feng was worried, as were Primal Chaos City Leader and the others, which was why he let those 100+ Universe Masters of other races attack him first. That attack had already reached level 8. Luo Feng had proposed the test because he believed that he had perfect godly power, and his mind was at the Universe Supreme Master level. Plus, he had Star Tower to protect his soul. He deemed that he was able to resist a level 9 attack. Besides, he had obtained the 3 techniques from the inheritance of Duandong River. And Duan Mier could accelerate the burning of his godly power, making him stronger, so he could resist a level 10 attack. The idea sounded good, but Luo Feng wasn't certain. What happened? He wondered. I didn't even use crazy demon extermination godly armor, and I only used Star Tower to guard my soul. How come an 8th level attack was so weak? Luo Feng was astonished that a level 8 attack was nothing to him. He then summoned the new remote ocean body, at 1,000 times life gene level. He let Star Tower guard the new remote ocean body and asked those Universe Masters to attack him again. His new remote ocean body was able to resist a level 8 attack easily with Star Tower. My new remote ocean boy was able to resist that. If the endless remote ocean body is stronger, it means it can resist a level 9 attack. With Duan Mier, I can even resist a level 10 attack. Luo Feng was overjoyed, but he was amazed as well. He speculated that he could only barely resist a level 10 attack. Based on his calculations, Remote Ocean and Duan Mier, which improved Luo Feng's godly power defense to Universe Supreme Master level, and Star Tower could barely resist a level 10 attack. The new Remote Ocean body and Star Tower could barely resist a level 8 attack. However, it was much easier than he thought. The new Remote Ocean body, guarded by Star Tower, was able to resist the level 8 attack without any problem. My Remote Ocean body is much more powerful, and it must be thanks to Star Tower. Luo Feng immediately realized that this was one of the distinctions of Star Tower. Star Tower was an exceptional supreme true treasure. It had higher requirements for recognizing a master than all the known Universe Supreme Masters. Even Shi Wu Wing had lower requirement. It was far more demanding than other supreme true treasures. Sitting Mountain Guest had created the Earthlings just for master recognition, and only after an eternity was the proper master, Luo Feng, born. How could a true treasure be mediocre when it had such incredible requirements? Luo Feng had always thought that Star Tower was special, yet he hadn't been able to find it until he strove to the limit of his abilities, using it to guard his soul. He now realized how extraordinary Star Tower was at guarding souls. My remote ocean, godly power ocean, was burning around all the 17 true treasure palaces, thought Luo Feng. I also performed Duan Mie, so it maintained the maximum power. Star Tower also guarded at the center of my endless remote ocean to guard the soul. It endured a soul attack and resisted it easily. I only experienced difficulty after I slowed down burning and stopped performing Duan Mie. He was fully prepared. And Star Tower gave him a happy surprise. One side was exhilarated, while the other side was horrified. Stop wasting time. Make attacks now. Primal Chaos City leader pointed at the nearest palace true treasure. The universe masters of the races glanced at Primal Chaos City leader. Wasting time? The other races were still calm. On the contrary, the human universe masters were all thrilled, hugging Luo Feng, some of them even tearing up. The human universe masters were the ones wasting time. Attack! Attack! All the universe masters from the human team, including those in Ancestral God Altar, created blurry godly power attacks. A being appeared above remote ocean. It was Luo Feng, dressed in black and carrying a blade. He held ancient God Eye in his left hand, shedding light upon the true treasure palace. It created a portal, and the mind shock swept through the palace true treasure uninhibited. The soul attack followed. An old voice was transmitted. Beware, Dream T. The powerful mind shock arrived right after the voice. Dream Demon Ancestor resisted it easily, yet 90% of the universe masters under her were down. Only 3 still stood. Mind shock. Dream Demon Ancestor was worried. Dream Demon Ancestor whipped her tail and returned all the universe masters into her world ring. The master of the Northern Territory Alliance saw it with Shi Chu Starlight River. He was startled and transmitted his voice to all the true treasure palaces. Be careful. We didn't kill Luo Feng, so we're at an absolute disadvantage. Once the human team makes soul attacks, every team will be in great danger. Once the human team draws near, the Universe Supreme Masters had better put their Universe Masters away. We don't have a Universe Supreme Master on our team. Neither do we. The teams from the Freedom Alliance were all anxious. There were 6 teams in the Freedom Alliance, and only one of them had a Supreme Master, Shahua Island leader. Get close to other teams quickly. The more Universe Masters, the safer it will be, Northern Territory Alliance Master said, transmitting his voice. Gather with the teams that have Universe Supreme Masters. Remote ocean is everywhere, and it has incredible binding power. It's trapping us, so the palace true treasure can't fly at all. We can't fly. The godly power ocean is trapping us. All the teams were worried, including the Universe Supreme Masters. They only felt they were being resisted when controlling the true treasure palaces. The godly power ocean was binding the palaces, making them incredibly slow, only 1/100th of light speed. Little did they know that the godly power ocean was burning and performing Duan Mie to stop them, so it had strong resistance. Luo Feng still wasn't satisfied with the resistance. He transmitted his voice, saying, Ancestral gods, please use 5-color Aurora Lake. Okay. Auroras appeared in the sky, sweeping across the sky and striking Shi Chu Starlight Lake. Both 5-color Aurora Lake and Shi Chu Starlight Lake were Domain Supreme true treasures. They hit each other, and Shi Chu Starlight Lake backed off. Soon, 5-color Aurora Lake and Shi Chu Starlight Lake occupied areas of the same size. Golden Country. Luo Feng shook his 4 wings, and the dimming golden light spread. It aided 5-color Aurora Lake in suppressing Shi Chu Starlight Lake, shrinking it further. 80% of the area was controlled by the human team. Golden Country wasn't strong enough, so it couldn't help 5-color Aurora Lake any more than that. Humph. Luo Feng smiled. It was enough. If he let Primal Chaos City leader Teacher use the valuable Palm Universe left by Teacher Origin, it would be much more effective than his Golden Country, but it wasn't the time yet. He wanted to leave it to the end in case the United Forces Alliance still had a trump card. Uncle Darkness. Luo Feng looked at Darkness Master beside him. Darkness Master smiled. Is it our turn? I can't wait any longer. Let's go claim our prey. Luo Feng moved his body and flew out. Darkness Master carried Black Prison Tower and flew out as well. As for the Universe Masters of other races and the Human Universe Masters, they all stayed in Star Tower. Northern Territory Alliance Master performed Shichu Starlight Lake, and it only occupied part of the area. He was from the United Forces Alliance, and it could only protect their 8 palaces. As for the other 3 palaces and 6 palaces of the Freedom Alliance, it couldn't protect them. Especially the Freedom Alliance. For one thing, the godly power ocean burning under Duan Mier had incredible resistance. For another thing, they couldn't speed up under 5-color Aurora Lake and Golden Country. They couldn't reach 1/100th of light speed, and the true treasure palaces were billions of kilometers away from each other, if not farther. After all, the base of Star Tower was 100 billion kilometers long, so the palaces around them were far from each other. Material attack. Use a material attack to blast away the godly power ocean. Damn that godly power ocean, blast it away. The teams in the true treasure palaces were all horrified. They all attacked the ocean around them. The attacks were consumed by the godly power ocean once they left the palaces. After all, the entire ocean was godly power. The godly powers continued being consuming, and the ocean kept surging. At that moment, Luo Feng carried an ancient god eye while Darkness Master carried Black Prison Tower. Their speed wasn't constrained, and they reached light speed and entered the Dark Universe in no time. They then went back to the original universe from the Dark Universe, arriving directly in front of the true treasure palace that had originally been more than 10 billion kilometers tall. Uncle Darkness, drive Black Prison Tower to capture our prey, said Luo Feng. He stared at the palace belonging to Freedom Alliance that held more than 70 Universe Masters. No matter how composed Darkness Master was, at this moment, he too was unable to contain his emotions. Throughout the entire Universe Ocean, who could capture over 70 Universe Masters in one go? Rise. Holding his breath, Darkness Master held out his right arm. Instantly, that black pyramid flew out from his palm and started to grow at a crazy speed. In a blink of the eye, it had transformed into a lofty tower that was 100 million kilometers tall. At the same time, a deep abyss also appeared at the base of the pyramid. The black pyramid took aim at the black, disc-shaped palace true treasure before it right away. Luo Feng watched and smiled. In his palm, another ancient god eye appeared. Now, there were 2 ancient god eyes, one with Mosha body, the other with his original body. Go. Luo Feng positioned his palm to face the disc-shaped palace true treasure, and the surrounding godly ocean water automatically parted to give way to a route. In fact, even if there were occasional interferences, Luo Feng's willpower would not be greatly affected. The invisible impact of his willpower swept toward the disc, which contained a total of 72 Universe Masters. After being hit by this bout of impact from his willpower, 65 Universe Masters lost consciousness. Only 7 remained awake. They had extremely strong willpower and were the true elites of the entire team. These 7 Universe Masters had a total of 11 godly bodies. It's the impact of willpower. Block it. What should we do? The 7 Universe Masters with their 11 godly bodies were panicking. The other Universe Masters who had weaker willpower were all knocked out, so there was no way they could render any help. With only 7 left, how were they going to resist? Plus, the other palace true treasures of the Freedom Alliance were at least 10 billion kilometers away. Help would not arrive as quickly as they needed it. Black Prison Tower is swallowing. Block it. Hang on. If we are sucked into Black Prison Tower, we are finished. The 7 Universe Masters were in a heightened state of panic and were losing their minds with every passing moment. No matter how insanely they fought, their efforts to resist were futile. Previously, they'd had many Universe Masters, so they could wipe out the godly ocean water obstacles that surrounded them. With concerted efforts, they had overcome the obstacles placed in their way by 5-color Aurora Lake and Golden County. But now that they were left with only 7 Universe Masters, manipulating their palace true treasures to move was difficult. Now, They were facing the danger of being sucked into Black Prison Tower. If it was only being swallowed by Black Prison Tower, perhaps they could still put up a fight to counterattack. But there was also the annoying godly ocean water in their surroundings, which was dealing them multiple blows and pushing them steadily toward their doom. This godly ocean was pushing their palace true treasure in the direction of Black Prison Tower. No, there is no way I can block it. I'm unable to block it. No, no. These universe masters, albeit most unwillingly, were annihilated. In the faraway core ground of the Freedom Alliance, on the island that was seated in the middle of the endless golden waves, over 400 universe masters and Shahua Island leader had all left their godly avatars. We are unable to block it. We are hit by the impact of the willpower. Only 7 of us, who are barely able to resist it, remain. And we are also under a double oppressive force by 5-color Aurora Lake and the godly ocean water. Now, with Black Prison Tower swallowing, we are unable to put up further resistance. The palace is heading toward that Black Prison Tower now. Everyone, please save us. On the numerous thrones, especially those in one particular section, various godly avatars of universe masters Saturday. None made a single move. They had all lost consciousness. Only the 7 who could resist the impact were left, and they were all extremely worried. We are too far away. There is no way we can make it there in time. We are facing double obstructions by the godly ocean waters and 5-color Aurora Lake. The hindering force is far too great. It is simply impossible to accelerate, simply impossible to reach light speed, not to mention about entering the dark universe. How? Groups of universe masters in the other palace true treasures might not be facing any fatal risks, but seeing how their fellow alliance members were being attacked, they could not help but worry and panic about facing the same fate. Suddenly, the 7 universe masters, who had been anxious a moment ago, showed looks of despair as they said, "We are being swallowed by Black Prison Tower. All 72 of us universe masters have been swallowed by Black Prison Tower." Instantly, everything in the surroundings quietened down. 72 universe masters? Heavens! It was just a short moment of peace and quiet. Then, soon enough, those universe masters from the Freedom Alliance who had managed to survive the ordeal grew even more anxious. It was that item with impactful willpower. It was that item with impactful willpower. If not for that, with over 70 universe masters combining forces, even if we were temporarily trapped in the godly ocean waters, that Black Tower prison will not be able to swallow us all. True. So long as that treasure is around, our advantage of having greater numbers will no longer exist. Over 70 universe masters. In an instant, 90% were knocked out, and only 7 are left to continue resisting. What should we do? If we had known this earlier, we would not have divided ourselves into 6 teams. If we were all combined in one team, with over 400 universe masters gathered together, I think at least a few dozen universe masters would be able to resist the impact of being hit by that willpower. Also, with Shahua Island leader around, we would not be taking such a passive approach. Who could have expected Luo Feng would come up with this endless godly ocean water to trap us? The Freedom Alliance was filled with apprehension. Earlier, they had decided on splitting up into 6 teams for 2 reasons. For one thing, there would be 6 major factions to deal with the human camp. For another, if they planned to join the United Forces Alliance, even if any of these 6 teams were hit by the impactful willpower, at least only part of the alliance would be affected. If they all congregated at the same place, it would mean that their combat power was straight away reduced by 90%. At that moment, even Darkness Master, who was usually so composed and aloof, could not contain his emotions any further. He broke into hearty laughter. That huge, black pyramid shrank rapidly to land within his palm. Over 70 universe masters, all captured in one swift move. Darkness Master stood amidst the mighty godly ocean water and could not help gloating. Comparing all the universe supreme masters in Universe Ocean, I suppose there won't be many who have achieved such a great feat. Then he looked toward Luo Feng, who was by his side. He knew that to be able to achieve something so great, there were, of course, many unique factors. For one, they had a strange object like the ancient God Eye. With its impactful willpower, they could deprive opponents of the advantage of greater numbers. Secondly, with the godly ocean waters and the five-color aurora lake intertwining and surrounding the enemy, there was no way the opponent could escape. Thirdly, Luo Feng had been unexpectedly capable of blocking a soul attack that was jointly launched by over 800 Universe Masters and over 10 Supreme Master. This had rendered the United Forces Alliance helpless before Luo Feng, so they could only struggle within his remote ocean. Darkness Master looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, we have you to thank this time around. Luck, said Luo Feng. He shook his head. A combination of various factors allowed us to make it this far. Not one could have been left out. As for my remote ocean, moving it about is extremely tough. If the United Forces Alliance had been able to escape, I think it would have been very difficult to come by another opportunity like this. Moving the vast remote ocean was indeed extremely tough. If enemies were far off, there wasn't much remote ocean could do. If they had managed to escape this time, they would have had no trouble making it further than this area a few light years away unless the humans remained hidden within this area under the influence of the remote ocean. If not, once they left this area of influence, without the protection of remote ocean, they were bound to be trampled on. That's why, Darkness Master said in his cold voice, we need to make good use of this opportunity. Make them fall into your remote ocean, then, in one swift move, capture as many as we can. That way, the number of Universe Masters in our human camp will greatly increase. True. Luo Feng nodded with a solemn expression. Such an opportunity is hard to come by. We must capture as many Universe Masters as we can. Within Black Prison Tower. Upon being captured, the 72 Universe Masters from various races heard a voice the moment they fell into that endless dark space. Dear all from Freedom Alliance, do not worry. So long as you do not treat us as your enemies, and express your willingness to help us, we, humans, will not harm any of you. We are willing to help the humans. We are willing to help. We are willing to join the human camp. Many Universe Masters of the various races were already in great despair, which was why, when they heard the voice, they immediately shouted to express their willingness. Joining the humans' side was what they had originally intended to do in the past. It was just that Purple Moon Holy Land had offered them more appealing terms. This was why they had decided to help the United Forces Alliance. Yet, no matter how great the potential benefit, nothing mattered more than being alive. All of them surrendered. Even those who had other bodies and were thus not facing any life-threatening danger were willing to surrender to the humans. After all, they were unwilling to give up the godly bodies that were mainly used in war. Furthermore, they were also unwilling to give up on the various true treasures they had spent countless years accumulating, because Five-Color Aurora Lake and Golden Country were joining forces to keep Shichu Starlight River suppressed. The United Forces Alliance and the Freedom Alliance were unable to promptly learn of each other's situation. Northern Territory Alliance Master then crossed the distance to directly contact Shahua Island leader, who updated him on the situation. The humans have combined the powers of a treasure with impactful willpower, Black Prison Tower, Godly Ocean Water, and Five-Color Aurora Lake when fighting us. They have already captured one of the Freedom Alliance's teams. What? This piece of news shocked Northern Territory Alliance Master. The humans' main power was still fighting the United Forces Alliance. Godly powers were bombarding one another as the battle raged on. So, what was happening here was only for show. The real deal was over at the other side. Northern Alliance Master quickly transmitted a voice message. Everyone. The human camp is using a combination of various true treasures, the treasure with impactful willpower, Black Prison Tower, Godly Ocean Water, and several others. They have already captured one of the teams from our Freedom Alliance. Proceed with the utmost caution. Do not let the humans get their way. With a move of intention, he transmitted the message via the conscious mind. He had to send the information to every other Universe Supreme Master. A move of intention was a unique method used by a Universe Supreme Master. To reach the level of a Universe Master from a normal ordinary great being, they all had to rely on the primal universe origin. Everything about them, for instance, their godly powers, was dependent on what the primal universe origin bestowed upon them, which was why there were numerous laws of the universe origin that they were unable to resist no matter how strong they were. The reason was simply because the source of their strength originated from the primal universe origin. As for universe supreme masters, they would have their own universe. They relied on themselves. As a result, they could easily resist the beckoning of the dark universe and easily exceed the speed of light to continue to remain within the space of the primal universe. They could also glide across vast stretches of time and space to land somewhere far away. Of course, they had weaknesses too. For instance, the talent technique given by the primal universe, the ability to divide bodies, along with some other talent techniques, would all be taken away. The primal universe would no longer bestow any kindness to them. They would have to depend on themselves in all aspects. Not good. Father God of automaton race also transmitted his thoughts. Anxiously, he said, "We cannot allow the humans to capture universe masters from the Freedom Alliance as they please. There are many universe masters in the Freedom Alliance. If they are captured by the humans, I'm afraid they will quickly switch sides over to the human camp. By then, the human camp will increase in strength. Even without this godly power of ocean water or any other devious means, they will not fear us at all. Hurry. We shall leave this area under the influence of the remote ocean right away. And we will do our best to help the Freedom Alliance, one team at a time. The more teams we help, the fewer teams the humans capture. The Freedom Alliance has a total of 6 teams, and one of them is headed by Shahua Island leader, which means the humans will be able to capture as many as 5 teams. That means over 300 universe masters. Once they are all captured, the number of universe masters in the human camp will soar to more than 500, which makes up more than half the number of universe masters in the entire primal universe. By then, for all eternity, we will no longer be able to suppress the humans. Hurry. The United Forces Alliance was growing anxious, but they were also clear that understanding what to do was one thing, whether they could achieve it or not was another story altogether. This video will end here.